I was out at a bar, I think last weekend, and I was talking to some friends about this concept that I want. I need your opinion. I need you to weigh in.
Moi? Mine?
Mhm.
Yes, please. I love giving my opinion.
So it's about the Adams family,
Okay.
and it's about Thing.
Okay.
So Thing is just like a little disembodied hand that runs around,
He's
right?
cute. Yeah.
So what is that trying to say to us? Like, right? Well, what is the logic behind that? Is that does Thing have a brain in his hand?
No.
Or here is my favorite theory.
Oh boy.
Is Thing kind of like a half ghost, a most ghost, mostly
Right.
ghost?
Right.
So he's like,
So you think he's being controlled by by other parts of the body that are somewhere else.
I not somewhere else. I'm saying, all right. So there is a guy who's a ghost, all but his hand, and like at first he just started walking around and the hands floating in midair, and even weird people, even
Yeah.
like weird monster families that he found to be friends with, were freaked out by a hand just dangling in midair all the time.
Yeah.
So he started walking it along the floor so that he could, like, just to make people comfortable. But of course, that means that he, as a ghost, is just kind of like creeping around on the floor. Like he's just
Yeah.
like scuttling around face down.
He has a human hand and he made that his entire identity. That's his personality now, is this hand.
It's either that or the other thing is he like Superman?
In the sense of
Okay, so sometimes he'll just like leap up and grab something, and then he will be able to manipulate that thing. This is my friend Cliff
Mhm.
brought this point up, so I would credit where credit's due. So he'll like reach up and like he'll like manipulate something
Yes.
as if he had an arm behind him. Like he'll be able to create leverage, though he's just a floating hand. And
Yeah.
it's like Superman, right? Like Superman can fly and then still be able to like grab things while he's in midair,
Uh-huh.
which shouldn't be possible, right?
Right.
But a thing seemingly can do the same thing. So again, it's either Thing is like he clearly has a consciousness, and
Yeah,
it's got
yeah.
to be stored
He
somewhere.
has feelings.
He's got feelings.
Yeah.
They've got to be stored somewhere. They've got to generate from somewhere. And again, he has these superpowers where he can create leverage without a lever. So either you imagine he is an entity in and of himself who defies the rules of physics on not just one level, like he's a disembodied hand, but on every level.
Right.
Or he's a ghost, all but the hand. And there's a real weird guy creeping around like a spider on the floor all the time.
I'm gonna say no to the mostly ghost theory. Sorry, Matt. My question is, what's his sex drive like? What's his sex life like?
You're just avoiding the first question.
I
What
Okay,
is
fine. My theory is none of these. My theory is that the hand is actually a costume and there's a rat in there.
there's a
And actually,
rat in
Thing
the
is a rat.
hand guy.
Yeah.
That very well. Okay, how does he get the leverage going though?
It's a rat and a bat. It's like one of those horse costumes where one has to be the head
But
and one has to be the butt.
the bat would be invisible then.
Why is the bat invisible? Bat's not invisible. He's just
Because
in the hand costume with the rat.
yeah, but the reason a bat would have leverage if it grabbed like a switch and flipped it, right? The reason a bat would have leverage is because it's flapping its wings
Yeah.
and using that resistance,
Yeah.
the like wind resistance, to
Mhm.
create leverage. If the bat is in the hand, there's no wings interacting with wind.
He's just smacking around the rat the whole time with his wings. No, he's one of the giant rats from Africa. You know, the ones that they learn to sniff out mines and tuberculosis. They're bigger. So the weight helps with the leverage. It's a rat. Thing is a rat.
Okay, again, the leverage thing,
Thing's
I
a
don't
rat.
know.
Thing's a rat. The rat is creating the
You
lever.
can't just answer every question with the word rat.
I'm really tired. I can't think of any other theories. Hey everyone, welcome back to Save Your Game. I am one of your hosts, Pushing Up Roses, 50 rats in a human costume, and with me, as always, a mostly ghost, Matt Aukamp. Hey Matt!
Yeah, that's the thing about me. I am a conjoined twin.
Mm-hmm.
I was the little twin. The big twin died
Uh-huh.
and is a ghost.
Uh-huh. 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 Uh-huh.
So still, like, drags me around all the time.
Oh, that's why you were acting so weird
Yeah,
at my
he'll,
birthday party. I didn't know, Matt. You should have told me.
He'll just, like, walk away. When I'm talking to somebody, he'll just walk away. And so if you've ever been talking to me and you see me just hover backwards, like, off the ground, and I'm not happy about it,
Yeah.
that's gurglemy.
I thought you just didn't want to
That's
talk to me about King's Quest and were not so subtly hinting
I
by
learned to
walking
hover.
backwards.
Learn to hover.
Learn to hover.
No, that's gurglemy, my
Hey, Gurglemy, how's it
my brother.
going?
He can't respond.
Okay.
He doesn't have
Is he cute?
He's a ghost. You can't see him.
I've always wanted to flirt with a ghost, though. Wait, so he can't communicate.
No.
I can't see him, but he can drag you around and hover?
Because we're connected.
Hmm.
The only reason I'm able to do this podcast is I do it
He's
at his
letting
I
you?
do it after his bedtime. So he's sleeping. Well, that's why we
Man.
always have to record at such weird. That's why I call you and I'm like, we gotta record now.
Does he have is he just like a very heavy sleeper? Because we're pretty animated.
He's dead. Roses.
Well, so the dead don't have to sleep. There's a lot of inconsistencies in your story, is what I'm saying.
Have you played any video games this week?
Oh, I think your ghost friend is flirting with me.
No, that was my voice.
Oh, man. Don't take this away from me.
He's dead and asleep. You can't talk to him.
That's my favorite kind of guy to flirt with. Dead and asleep somehow. Yes, Matt. Today the answer is yes. I know it's weird. No, I don't think I've said yes to this question in literal months.
Yeah, months.
Yeah. I have played video games this week.
Okay, so we are going to be talking about 2 video games this week. Have you played anything other than the 2 we're talking about this week?
Yes. However, it is going to be a game I think we're going to talk about next week. I don't know. I don't quite know how we're squeezing this in. This had been a recommendation that you told me about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think it deserves its own thing, its own episode, but the game is Mouthwashing. It's a psychological horror game. It's a lot, and it's it's very effective. It's a lot. I didn't quite realize it was psychological horror, and maybe that's why I didn't play it when it came out.
Yeah.
The game was extremely popular. Like Let's Players and streamers and video essayists, they all kind of jumped on this game when it came out. It's very ugly looking, but it makes sense. It's one of those. It's kind of like Hobbs Barrow had some of those ugly cutscenes, but when you play it, that's just what it is. It just makes total sense.
That could be really helpful for horror, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And with with lower fidelity artwork, it creates a type of ambiguity that can be really effective. I remember, what was that game I played last year? Crow Country.
Oh, yeah, Crow
had
thing.
that like PS1 style
Yeah,
graphics,
it was
and
almost
I
like
like
Final Fantasy VII.
yeah, yeah, and it made and that made a lot of the horror in it a lot more effective because
Mhm.
again, you couldn't you had to use your imagination to tell what you were looking at. So is there that
Yeah.
sort of thing in Mouthwashing?
Yeah, it kind of, except I think the graphics are so hyperbolic and kind of so out
Mhm.
there and
Okay.
purposefully ugly, not good looking, that you almost have to accept it instead of, like, using your imagination. Like, you have
Yeah.
to almost put the personalities into this design because it's so blatant and in your face.
Right.
It's so out there, like, everyone's hands are enormous and faces are completely messed up. Yeah, very PS1, uh, but even worse than that. It's first person, which I always have a little bit of a problem with, because
Yeah.
I tend to get a little sick. It doesn't matter if I turn off like the head bob. It doesn't matter what settings I put on it. I still like it kind of ill. Fortunately, this is a short game.
Sure.
You can beat it in probably 2 hours.
Oh.
That being said, I don't think it was. It's scary, but
Mhm.
it's scary in the way that psychological horror is scary. The
Okay.
scary things are not monsters. They're not supernatural elements. They're human elements. They're what humans
Okay.
are capable of, and they're the horrific actions they can do, and the
N- n-
it's
n-
bleak. It's
So
very
is it
very bleak.
is it sort of like what's scary about it is the concepts it's introducing more
Yes.
than okay.
So I'll give you just a slight premise because this there is a premise, and but we'll talk about the themes later. The themes are what's more important, but the premise itself is kind of horrifying. You are on a team of 5. There's a team of 5 characters on a space freight, like a freight delivery truck for Pony Express, which was a
Right.
real thing. This is not. This is in space.
Okay.
You're carting around just these huge boxes of mouthwash for whatever reason. It's like 14% ethanol mouthwash.
Mhm.
And you get into a crash. And now you are 5 members who are just stranded in space with really
Wild.
maybe there's hope, but the game doesn't present like that. The game is purposely very bleak. Um, you know when you play this game that it's not going to be a happy ending. You just know, you know. Uh, and yeah, that concept in itself, I think that the concept of being in an inaccessible place
Yeah.
is very frightening. Um,
Wow. That yeah, I mean, I think already that that makes me want to know what happens,
yes.
right? Like having not met these characters, like
Mhm.
that is an interesting way to start a story, I think.
Yeah. Another horrifying aspect, which we'll talk way more in depth, or at
Don't
least I
spoil it. Don't make sure you're not spoiling
I don't
anything.
think so.
You already sold me on this.
I don't think I'm spoiling it
Okay,
because
okay.
it's in like you can see trailers and screen caps of this.
I don't watch trailers.
There's only one woman among the 5 members,
Okay.
and that might not uh, hit for you, but for me, being one woman stuck in space
Oh
with
my
5 men is a
god.
horrifying concept,
Yeah.
right?
And
That'd be
yeah.
scary because there's nowhere to go.
Do they lean into that concept?
Yes.
Okay.
So I will discuss it heavily
Because
and talk about it.
because we are playing one of the two games that we played for this episode also has almost no female characters.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But it is completely unremarked upon. I think it's just
No,
a
this is a
failing of the
theme
developer.
that is part of the game
Okay.
that that is very important. Um yeah, it is remarked upon, but within the
Interesting.
story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
narrator. It's you were
This
just
is
playing as a
the
character.
yes,
Yeah.
this is part of the premise is that there's only one woman.
Correct.
It's
Yeah.
not just they couldn't think of another female character to add.
Correct. Yes, correct. No, this it's very integral to the story.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. Honestly, it's a very good game. A psychological horror is always, I think, hopefully meant to be discussed and bring in human,
Yeah.
human tragedy. and things like that. So we'll talk
I'm
about it. We'll
excited
talk
for
about
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for that conversation. I've heard a lot of praise for mouth washing, but I've heard
Yeah.
very little, almost nothing. I would even say about like what the game is, like what actually happens in the game, what the game's about.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, it's really good. It's definitely up my alley. I really like psychological horror,
Hmm.
and it upset me. It got me.
Right.
I will say this. It's not really a spoiler. It's more of a warning. It's heavy. It will upset you.
Okay.
Maybe don't play it before bed like I did, because I had a struggle getting to sleep
Yeah.
after that. It's not only overstimulus, from a game or a screen,
Hmm.
it's also upsetting on top of it. So I wouldn't do that if I were you. But, it is spooky season. It is psychological horror. And if you would like to play it and get on board and know what we're talking about for the next for the next episode, maybe you'll have your own thoughts on
Yeah.
it as well and you can be prepared.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I played like 3 games in a row essentially. So, I don't know what happened there. That's how I get. It's like I won't play
It's
any
all or
games.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't play any games and then I'll be like, "Man, I just played 5 games."
It's spooky month. It's
Spooky
spooky month
month.
revs you up.
It does
That's what
warm me up.
it really gets you going.
It rouses me, like lust from beyond. No, that does not rouse me. I'm kidding. I wanna say thank you all to all the responses and interactions on our episode 69, which was on Lust from Beyond. It seems
Yeah.
like you guys really enjoyed our conversation and, the Discord was going a little crazy for that episode. So thank you so much for
Yeah.
tuning in and listening.
I'm glad. Yeah, I felt weird about that episode.
I did too. We
Not
both did.
Yeah, just like, were we too negative? Were we like, did we bum people? Like, is this going to bum people out? Are people going to be
Yeah.
like, are people going to get done episode 69 and be like, "Ugh, that wasn't fun to
I
listen to?"
know. And, like, I
Um,
that game legitimately made me cranky. I don't even
yeah.
just say it's kind of funny, right? Rose is cranky, but it was kind of it was kind of bad. I had a headache and I was in a bad mood, and, I'm glad it didn't come across as, overly negative.
Um, yes, me as well. And yeah, again, thank you everybody for your feedback.
Yeah.
And not that this show always has to be light, or like there's a lot of times we talk about heavy subject matter in the show, probably next week. but
Absolutely.
there's
Yeah.
very few times we are as negative about a thing. We're going to be a little negative today, but I think in more
Just
of
a
a
little bit, yeah.
fun way.
Yes, I have some critique, but I actually also have a lot of positive things
Yeah.
to say. Um Like the majority of the art that I talk about, I think. If I ever play a game that's like
Mhm.
I don't like it, I'm probably not gonna talk about it, because I don't really wanna put that out there and,
Yeah,
you
this
know
has happened in the course of the show. Is
Yeah.
one of us has played a game that we just disliked so much that we were just like, oh, let's not talk about this on the show, because like, what's the point? In
Yeah.
absolutely, I think unless there's something really interesting to be discussed, I
Yeah.
think it's not worth just shitting on something.
Yeah, and
Um,
I have the take of like, not every opinion has to be out there.
yeah.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Not every opinion even matters. So I try to be really intentional with the critique that I put out there. I don't want to just talk about anything all the time. That's I don't want to say a waste of time, but it is a time sink. And yeah, I try to be intentional. Even on the channel, I try to be intentional about what I choose to talk about.
Right.
And I hope we're smart about it too. I think we're very smart in picking topics and games. That's what I think.
I thought you were just going to stop at, I
I
think we're
think we're
very
very
smart.
smart.
I think we're very smart. All right. So we'll talk to you guys next week.
I'm a rat. Very smart. Matt, that's what I've been playing. I can't
It's
wait to
awesome.
talk to you about. I've
Yeah.
been wanting to, but I know I can't. I know I have to hold it all inside until you at least play some of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and hopefully it's short. It's like 2 hours and it's 2 hours and a smooth run.
Okay.
If you get maybe stuck, yes, you could potentially take more, but I would say in a fairly smooth run, 2.5 hours. And I can't wait to talk to you about that. But in the meantime, what have you played?
Let's see. I played there's one game that I played. I didn't play that much.
Okay.
So I don't have a ton to say about it, and it's not really an adventure game either. But I do want to mention it because it's very unique and it's a lot of fun. It came out earlier this year. It got a little bit of hype, um, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it in a while. So I don't know if that hype died down or um, I mean, this has just been a year of nonstop, either incredible or super interesting games. So I don't want I don't want any some of these things to get lost in
Yeah.
that shuffle.
Yeah.
So anyway, I played a game called Pippistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo.
Yeah, you mentioned that I think in the last
hmm
yes, in the last episode.
hmm I played it, but I didn't want to talk about it yet because I'd played even less at that point, and
Okay.
also uh, it was episode 69.
Yeah.
So Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo is like a top-down um, like action adventure game,
Okay.
like Zelda style,
Yes.
and it's got sort of these retro, I guess like Super Nintendo kind of graphics.
Okay.
And you play this little, I don't know if you're a bunny or a mouse. I don't know what you are. This little blue guy who is, he wants to be a yo-yo champion. And he's just getting home from a yo-yo convention, a yo-yo competition and he's like the heir to this huge estate, and this company that controls the electricity in this town. And as you get home and start talking to your aunt who actually owns the company, some gangsters bust in and they use this experimental battery that her company refused to sell
Uh-huh.
on her. And the reason that the company she refused to sell it is because it's powered by the human soul. And so she found it unethical. So like these things, it creates unlimited power, but it costs a human soul.
Mhm.
So um
And are you playing as a bat?
is it a bat?
Well, Pipistrello is Italian for bat.
Oh, he's a bat.
Does that make sense? I haven't seen what it looks like. So is there a bat
No,
involved? I'm just curious.
you're a kind of a like I said, I didn't know if you were like a mouse or a bunny, but that now that I know he's a bat makes a lot of sense.
Oh, okay.
I guess the things behind him are wings. I thought they were ears.
I'm looking at screen caps and like it is a little bat-like. Yeah, it's bat-like. Yeah, it's bat-like.
Now that I know it's a bat, I can see it, but man.
Yeah. You're right. There's a little bit of a disconnect between like visually.
And it's not
The
like you don't
yeah.
use the wings. You don't fly or
Oh, you
anything.
don't fly. Interesting. Okay.
Pretty much everything you do use the yo-yo. So what happens is her soul gets sucked into 4 of these batteries, taken each by one of the gangsters, and then the 5th piece of her soul ends up in your yo-yo. Using that plus your yo-yo skills, you kind of like you keep unlocking as you go around. You collect coins and you can sort of unlock different abilities in
Yeah.
your yo-yo. You could also collect little like tokens that give you like charms, like in like a Hollow Knight style charms where they give you sort of like special attributes or
Mhm.
whatever. There's basically like an overworld kind of thing, and then you go into various buildings, and buildings are like levels, right? Or you'll go into or dungeons maybe. So yeah, very very Zelda like. Like there's collectibles to be found in the overworld, there's obstacles in the overworld, there's certain little like mini dungeons where you just sort of perform a skill and get a reward. um and little mini games that people are like I found these 2 guys who they found 2 logs and they're very excited about their 2 logs.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Hey, we have an idea for like a little competition. Why don't let us throw these logs at you? And if you can dodge them all, then we'll give you a prize. And so it's just like you're dodging logs. And yeah, I guess each one of these criminal bosses is kind of like they own different businesses around town, and so each business you go into is like a dungeon, and you're trying to get all the 4 pieces of the battery back to reunite your aunt's soul. But again, it's mostly just you're running around with this yo-yo that has these little powers and solving little environmental puzzles and doing little arcadey style combat. It's really fun. It's really cute.
Yeah, it
There's a
do
lot of
look cute.
geometry involved,
Okay.
and it's got this retro look to it. There's even a filter you can put on the game that makes it look like you're playing it on like it's called the Pocket Trap game system, and I think it's supposed to be kind of like a
Game Boy?
Game Boy Advance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's called Pippistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. It's not
Great.
spooky. It's not spooky,
Got a bat.
but it's got a bat and a cursed yo-yo with a human soul in it. So use your
Great.
imagination, make it spookier in your head.
Great.
Well, so that's what I've been playing.
Okay.
I played 2 other games, Roses.
What the fuck?
I know.
Stop padding the podcast with stuff.
You also played 2 other games.
Ah!
And we're going to talk about them together.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So
My bad.
why don't we save the best for last and talk about the game that we were both kind of neutral on? So why don't you play Mouthwashing,
Hmm.
and then we'll come back and talk about 9 Witches Family Disruption. Hey everybody, welcome back to Save Your Game. I'm Matt Aukamp. With me, Pushing Up Roses.
And
And
I am.
a witch.
No, weren't you paying attention? I'm 50 rats in a human costume. But
Well, 50 rats is
also
more
accept a
than
witch.
9 witches, so I feel like you would win in this contest.
I would win. I would win regardless. Because I'm hashtag winning.
Roses, what the frick is 9 Witches Family Disruption?
So, yes, 9 Witches Family Disruption. What an interesting adventure game.
Yeah.
So this is an indie game that came out in 2020. It looks modern. You know, it's one of those things where the graphics are that like chonky style graphic. It's more animated than and detailed than The Last Door, but it's got that little bit of a chonk to it.
Yeah,
and
pixel.
Thus,
It's pixel graphics, yeah.
yeah, and thus because everything is like just so recognizable and chonky, it ages well. So it's actually hard to put a year on those kind of games, I think. But yeah, 2020. It is.
It's by
Go ahead.
Indie Disruption Studios, which I hadn't really heard of. It appears
No, I haven't
which
either,
appears to
yeah.
just be like 3 people. Like looking at the credits, it was basically 3 names that appeared over and over
Yeah.
again. So
The plot is a little difficult to describe. It's would you agree that this is kind of a Nazi Germany situation? That's where all the story kind of comes from.
yeah, I think explicitly, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's in
okay.
Berlin in 1944.
Yeah. You know, there's a Hitler-esque character. There are other basically,
I think it's supposed to be Hitler. They just call him the Chancellor.
yeah, they call him the Chancellor. I don't know if they were just kind of like avoiding certain imagery or certain names. That's fair, you know, if you want to do
Yeah,
that. But yeah,
there was no actual they used the word Nazi, but there was no swastikas, and
right.
all the people in charge were either unnamed or fictional names.
Yeah. There are the implication of like Nazi flags. They've just been torn up. Maybe Captain Von Trapp is there tearing them up. So hot. Anyway, so
killing
yes,
Nazis is hot. Destroying Nazi shit is hot.
It's so fucking hot. And then singing Edelweiss. Yep. I mean, I'm there. So the story is such that these can I just call them Nazis? Is that fair?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, 100%. They are
Okay.
called Nazis in the story.
Okay. So these Nazis, they want to, inflict essentially further pain on the world by releasing dark energy into the world and like manifesting this energy. And the way they did it is they basically kidnapped a witch and they had her open this portal of dark energy. Um and it's a little convoluted, so kind of bear with me. I do like this story. I just think you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit to really be on board with it. Well, let's get into your characters. You are playing two characters.
Yeah.
This is one of those games where you can switch between characters, which isn't always my favorite thing, but it's actually pretty fluid and pretty what's the word, intuitive in this game, I think. So you are playing
You're playing Akiro
Akiro.
Kagasawa,
Yes, that's right.
and then eventually you take control of his boss also, Professor Alexei Krakovitz.
Alexi, yeah, Alexi, Alexi.
Alexei.
Yes, I don't know why I could not think of their names. Considering Alexi calls us, he just says Akiro all the time, so I don't know why
Yeah.
that went out of my brain. But Akiro is a little bit younger, and your boss he's old. He is in a wheelchair, and he has the ability to communicate with the dead. He can go into this trance and
Yes.
see ghosts and communicate with them. And later you'll get other ghostly powers too, but that's your main powers. You can walk through doors, all that stuff. You can't move anything, but you can definitely go into buildings, which is very helpful in an adventure game. So word gets out about this dark energy, this portal being opened, and you and your boss Alexi are sent on this mission essentially to infiltrate as moles, as undercover. You take the place as two, they're not soldiers, but two other people with it who are supporting the Nazis. One's
Mhm.
an actor and I guess the actor's assistant. We basically we basically stop the actor from going to this mission and we take their place. We take their passports, we take their invitation, and we pose as these people who were invited to this festival that's going to be, that's going to celebrate all this dark energy that these Nazi leaders are working on.
Mhm.
It all takes place in a town called Sunday.
Yeah,
There's also a town called Milkshake.
milkshake.
They have
Yeah,
like umlauts over the words and stuff. Yeah.
this is the level of humor you're dealing
Yes.
with in this game. It's
That's going to be my main critique.
it's
I think you know
like
that.
kind of childish wordplay and then very puerile
Yeah.
potty humor.
Yes, that's going to be my main.
Yeah.
I'll just put it out
We'll
there
we'll
right now.
spend a
That's
while talking about
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
that is my main critique, is that it is potty humor. It's not raunchy. I want to make that clear. It is potty humor. So I'm talking fart jokes and poop jokes and pee jokes and
All right. You know what? Why don't we just talk about it now?
yeah,
Because
why not? It's a
fucking
big part of it.
there's parts of this game where you have to like drink piss.
Yeah, yeah.
Like piss is an inventory item and you don't even control him when he drinks it. He's just like in the middle of doing something else and starts drinking the piss.
Yeah.
Like there's multiple scenes where you just have to watch him use the bathroom.
Yeah,
Like you don't see it graphically, but
right.
it's like fart noises and so okay. So I wrote some of these down. I kept a little track. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
There are 12 and this is a like 4 to 5 hour game. Should be fucking shorter. That's another thing that we will talk about, but
Yeah,
um it's like 3 hours worth of gameplay
right,
stuck in a 5-hour game.
right.
So 12 fart jokes,
Oh dear.
and there's one character that's just constantly farting.
Yes, there is.
So,
And I do
you
have
know,
a theory. I do have a theory about that because, this super lowbrow humor, super potty humor, I think the vibe is immature, but what it's going for is maybe that they're trying to take humor away. Or sorry, they're
power. Yeah.
that's such a Freudian slip.
Yeah, no, they did really take my humor away for a good
I'm
5
sorry.
hours.
I'm so sorry. They're trying to take the power away.
Yeah.
from the Nazi characters by making them insane and flatulent and goofy and stupid and dumb. It's a very Mel Brooks thing to do, is to just make these Nazi characters just absurd and stupid so
I would
that you dislike
agree
them. But
I would agree if the
I'm gonna
good
say
characters weren't. Yeah.
yes, unfortunately, it's not just those characters. Your
Yeah.
characters also have flatulence problems and hemorrhoids, and it's
Oh my god.
ridiculous.
Well, we don't have hemorrhoids, but
No, we don't.
we are posing as a man who has hemorrhoids that are so big they look like a flower.
Yes, and you do
Ugh.
see it.
So,
I wanna say
okay. What
I did laugh at some things. It's not completely devoid of humor, and obviously this is gonna be subjective. If the devs liked potty humor, there are gonna be people out there who appreciate this kind of humor and that
I
find it
guess.
amusing, and that's totally
Well,
fine. It's not for me, but yeah.
there was a lot of other humor in this game that oh, hold on, let me finish my list.
Go ahead.
All right. So, 12 fart jokes, 8 jokes about toilets, 3 jokes about vomit, 5 jokes about shit, and a whopping I couldn't even count the amount of times they referred to hemorrhoids. The amount of times that the amount of jokes about penises or testicles was
Mhm.
a whopping 13,
Wow.
outdone only by jokes about the game being a game or
Meta, yeah.
the world being made of pixels.
Yeah.
16.
Oof. Yeah, and as we're kind of recalling, these are some of my least favorite things. I really and I'll say it, like, even when Ron Gilbert does it, I don't like it. I don't like meta things unless you're the monkeys. The monkeys are the only ones who are allowed to break the fourth wall. Anybody else who does it, I just get cranky. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's not completely devoid of humor, and I'm not judging you if you like this type of humor. I don't. So it was difficult for me to enjoy the vibe. However, it does make up for a lot of that in other things, such as Matt. Would you like to take it?
Yeah, no, I liked the art a lot.
Yeah,
I think the art was really great. Like the
yeah,
background, like it's got a cool spooky vibe, right? Like
it does.
especially for this season, right? Like it's got you're in these dark kind of woods. There's weird little worm things on the ground all the
Mhm.
time.
It's like a sound effect that keeps going off, and you're not quite sure what it is.
You're fighting at points these weird zombie things. The fights is another thing I'll complain about. But
Sure.
there's witches, there's ghosts, there's this guy who can turn himself into a ghost and use kind of ghost well, he
Yeah,
astrally projects, right? But he can use sort of ghost powers to help you
yeah.
solve puzzles. Like there's a
Kind of like
lot
occult things going on. Yeah,
cult stuff. There's even like you don't really know what's happening, but there is something or somebody or some things or somebodies just slaughtering and dismembering living things around
yeah.
the town.
Some of that legit got to me too. This
Yeah.
game is really not afraid to take away beloved characters.
Yeah, basically everybody in this game dies.
Yeah. So I was
um
actually surprised at how much death there really was, and kind of
there's a
impressed that
couple
they were
yeah,
willing to do that.
there's a couple people who don't die, and the
Right,
people
right.
from the resistance group, the group that's resisting the Nazis,
Yeah,
they all survive.
yeah, yeah.
But I guess it's a spoiler, but also like I don't that's not going to affect the
No,
that's
it
not going to
won't.
affect your. I don't think knowing that is going to affect your enjoyment of this story even
No,
a
it
little bit.
won't. I
Um,
think it'll even still be a little surprising.
yeah, oh,
Yeah.
definitely, 100%. But I also the puzzles weren't bad. Here's my big issue with the puzzles here. They were perfectly fine. It was, the sort of point and click normal shit where
Yeah.
you're finding objects that you need in an unconventional way or using objects in an unconventional way or thinking just like either it's slightly outside the box at all times.
Yeah.
Which I like, right? Like
Yeah.
it's nothing like mind blowing. It's nothing new or innovative, but
Right.
it is it's the stuff that we enjoy, right?
Yeah.
It's genre tropes.
I agree. I did like the puzzle design. I didn't get stuck very many times. And another thing I like about the mechanic, it's a lot of fetch quests, like you said. It's a lot of inventory object puzzles and, do the thing to get to the thing. Another thing I like that's kind of supported the puzzles was
Mhm.
the setting is alive. Like people are moving around, things are changing. You will have to go back and look at things. And even sometimes you don't have to go back, but you can to see what's changed, to see if a character has died. Um, I like that in a video game. I like it when it's alive and things
Right.
are actively moving around. And again, I think that supports the puzzle. And there was a good span where I just was really on top of the puzzles. I felt real good about it, just being all breezy. But yeah, nothing innovative, but it doesn't need to be. It just has to be good,
Right.
within the story and within the genre.
So the thing that I didn't like about those puzzles is there's a lot of, and I don't say this lightly because I know games get accused of this all the time, and I don't think it's always fair, and it's not necessarily a nice thing to say about a game, but I think they were artificially increasing the length of
Mm,
this game in
mhm.
some pretty obnoxious ways.
Okay.
They one thing that they would do is there's a pretty big map that you're running around, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's more
it
expansive than you even think. It's pretty large.
and there's just so many rooms too.
Yeah. Yep.
And I got that from a like a artwork design perspective, right?
Mhm.
Like every room and every map looked great, even though even though I was running across a bunch of empty space a lot of times.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like that was a problem until this basically entire map opened up. And basically every puzzle from there's 9 chapters in this game. So basically every
Mhm.
puzzle from like act 5 on, like the dependency chart would be like one thing
Mhm.
would be on one end of the map, then the next thing you need, the thing that like that solves. So basically,
Yeah.
if you have to, this isn't in the game, but if you have to use a magnet to get a key out of the grate to unlock a door, you would find the magnet on one end of the map. The grate would be on the entire other end of the map.
Yeah.
You might even have to go to that grate and get something to unlock the ability to get a string on a third location in the map, come back, get the key, and then the key would be to a door right next to where you got the magnet.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I just felt like I was just running around needlessly. Um,
Yeah. It
and
needed a quick travel
mhm.
option. With a map that's gonna be like that, like, I don't mind so the way
It
that
wasn't
Monkey
an
Island does it, it
because it
has a
wasn't a
big
map you click on. It was a map
right.
that you had to physically run around with.
Yes.
Like I used a controller to play the game. I think you could also use keyboard and
I use
mouse, but
keyboard. Yep.
no, maybe you can't use mouse, just keyboard.
There's no mouse control,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
used which was a very interesting mechanic, by the way. I was using WASD, to walk, and then the arrow keys for, like, interact and inventory, and I once I got used to it, it was fine, but I was struggling a little bit at first. I was, quote, misclicking.
Hmm.
But like the way that Monkey Island would do this kind of map, right, is they would have a map with hotspots on it, which is this. Like
Yeah,
you have this big map and you walk to the spot, to the hotspot you want to go. In Monkey Island, you travel there once. Like
right.
it'll plot you click on it, it'll plot you going there like once, I think, at least.
And then if you
Um,
double click, you're just
and
there.
then you're just
From
there.
yeah,
Yeah. No, this needed a fast travel
right.
mechanic so bad.
And again, I think they didn't. I think they wouldn't have put that in because the reason they kept these things so far apart was to lengthen the game, maybe to make you forget that something existed or where something was, so you visit a bunch of more locations to try and solve a puzzle because you're like,
Yeah.
I think I saw a watering can somewhere, but I don't know where.
Right.
Or you forget at all that you ever saw a book of matches anywhere.
Yes, because
So
everything's so far away. That's one of the only times I
mhm.
got majorly stuck and majorly
I
frustrated.
I wasn't stuck at any point, but I pulled up a walkthrough anyway because I just didn't want to have to keep
Oh man. Yeah.
checking things. I was like, this is not it's not fun
Yeah.
to explore anymore. I've seen everything, and I'm just going back to the same places over and over, and they're all so far apart.
Yes.
Um, Again, that's why I'm saying this was like a 3-hour game that took 5 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was like
Yeah,
about 3 hours worth of content, and half of it was fart jokes.
you're right, there's really no way around the traveling. You gotta do it, and it is purposefully everything is very far away.
So we
You're
should
correct.
say you are physically running around these spaces, and
Yeah,
then interaction is based on proximity.
yeah.
If you are close to something, then the options to look at it or interact with it will pop
Right.
up, and you just
Right.
hit the button. And then again, you're switching between 2 characters. There's a
Mhm.
button for that, and then there are individual buttons for the various powers that this guy has when he is astrally projecting, which
Yeah,
I won't give them all away because they change throughout the game. But
yeah.
like from the very beginning, the things that you can do, or you can go through doors, like you can
Yes.
pass through doors. You can use this sort of like, what is it, ghostly perception
Mhm.
to highlight hotspots,
Yeah, to
basically.
highlight hotspots to see what you might need to interact with, yeah.
And I can't remember what the other one's called, but you can talk to ghosts. You can see
Yes.
when you are in this sort of astral form, you can see ghosts and talk to ghosts. So if somebody died in a place recently, it's worth checking out to see if there's a ghost there.
Yeah. And
The
I do wanna
Mhm.
reiterate, it's a very fluid mechanic, and this is coming from, again, somebody who does not like switching. I do not like
Right.
switching between characters. It really overwhelms me. But I think what helps is that this is not like Maniac Mansion where once you're not playing a
Right.
character, they're stuck in that place. The characters do
Yeah.
follow each other around.
Yes, they're
Yeah,
always right there. So and
yeah,
they both can move, so you can just switch back and forth at any time and you'll still
yeah.
be making progress. Oh, and we should say Professor Krakovitz has no use of his arms or
Correct.
legs. So he's in a
Correct.
wheelchair, he can't, so if you need somebody to interact with something, it has to be Akiro.
Yeah.
The other thing, so Akiro has another power that you find out, I think somewhere during chapter 2 or 3,
Mhm.
which carries a gun.
Yeah. Little pistol.
And this game has combat. This
It
game
do.
has gun combat that is just a bunch of people running around the screen firing guns at each other,
Yes.
and your pistol can't run out of ammo, but it does get jammed occasionally.
Right.
You can find other guns on the ground, like a machine gun or a rifle or whatever, and they each have their own special abilities.
Uh-huh.
But when they run out of bullets, like you have to go find another gun, and you have to put yours on the ground to pick one of them up.
Right.
So if you are on one, these all don't all take place on like a static screen, right? They're scrolling involved.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
So th- you might be on the way other end of this whole like scrolling like several screens when you drop your pistol to pick up a rifle, and the combat takes you to the other end. You run out of rifle ammo. You got to run all the way back to that pistol.
Yeah. We did play this 2 different ways, which I'm kinda glad about and I thought
Mhm,
might happen. So you played with combat on. This is an adventure game. The devs clearly knew that,
mhm.
and they do give this is actually really nice and really thoughtful. They do give the players an option to sell your soul to the devil, and if you do that, the devil will help you in combat and make it a lot easier. I did that and thought it was hilarious. I loved it every single time. I thought it was so funny.
I saw that, and I just like I kept dying. It kept like the combat isn't. It's not all skill based. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
just you're just mobbed on every side.
That's true. Yeah.
It's hard, but not in a fun way, is what I guess I'll say.
Sure.
And so at some point, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna tell the devil I'm ready to sell my soul, and I want the easy combat." But I didn't like so the way that they easy mode isn't just your ammo doesn't run out, your gun doesn't
Mhm.
jam, or health is lower,
Yeah.
or your health is higher. It's none of that. It is that the devil follows you around and strikes guys with lightning.
Yeah. He smites them.
I didn't I didn't like that.
I liked it. I don't know why. I just was like amused every single time. Just like, ah, ha, 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 ha." Yeah, take that.
Yeah, I don't know, it just, like, something about it felt like it took all the agency away from me or something, I don't know, I didn't enjoy it,
I
so
guess it didn't for me because I chose that immediately with the
mhm,
intention of like, I want this to be more of an adventure game. I don't really want combat in here.
yeah.
I noticed you do. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know if you said this already. You do have to shoot people at least once. Like you have to do something
Oh,
to
okay.
get the ball rolling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then like the devil comes in and smites the villain characters, and I liked it.
Yeah,
And I'm glad even if you don't like that on easy mode, I am at least glad that there's an option for
right.
people who don't want combat in their point and click. You know?
Yes, I agree, and I like that it was done sort of, within the story.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's kinda funny. We should say there's also no voice acting.
right.
The
Which I
s
like about it.
the music is alright, it's
Yep.
fine. The sounds are horrible.
Oh, you don't like the sounds?
No, I mean,
I don't know if it really stood out to me either way.
I think it was just, poor sound effects. I think just kind of like the sound effects you download from a free sounds website, right?
Okay, yeah,
Which,
sure.
granted, a lot of video games do that,
Yeah,
but it was just apparently low quality.
okay.
um, and I think that is also made worse by the fact that there's just so many farts.
I know, I couldn't and, like, look, we are of the Leisure Suit Larry, year era, right?
Mhm.
Uh, we all like a little bit of it. I think everybody
Mm.
likes just a little bit
If it's
of
done
lowbrow.
really clever, if
Yeah,
it's done
this was
really
too much for
cleverly,
me.
almost nothing about the humor in this game was clever.
Right. It is
Some of the
yeah, right.
puzzles were
It's not
clever.
clever humor, it is potty humor.
Yes, and I mean, even, like, there's a clown at one point who you have to sit and watch him make a bunch of jokes. You also can't skip
I know, I was in
cutscenes.
pain, Matt. I was in
Um,
pain.
and you can't let them run by themselves. So, if you, like, die in one of the combat things and you have to not just watch the entire cutscene, you have to manually advance lines of dialogue through it.
Mhm.
So, like, I died, like, my 4th time, and then there's a minute-long cutscene that I have to watch, and I wanted to just walk away and let it just run,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
couldn't. You had to just sit there and press A every
yeah.
couple seconds. So,
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. It was too much for me. Like I said, no judgment if you like that type of humor. In fact, if you do, this is the
well
game for you. You found it.
so one of the things I wanna say, you had to talk to a clown and hear a bunch of his jokes.
Yeah.
And they were like, so even when this game is not doing potty humor, it's doing this kind of joke where it's like the setup is something like, "Hey, what do you call a cat with 4 heads?"
What?
"I don't know, that's why I asked you."
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And like that's how all of the jokes were. This sort of
Right.
like eh, attempting to subvert the setup punchline,
Yes.
but doing it just so in such an uninteresting way, doing it in such
Yeah.
like a what's funny about that way?
Yes. I think it is trying to do that. I think it's trying to be like, oh, clowns are really not funny. We all
No,
know it. And yet
yeah,
here's it's definitely trying to do that. It's just too, I just don't like it.
I do you think I mean, they had everybody laughing at it.
I think that's on purpose.
I agree,
Yeah.
but my point is that I think they're like, "Oh, these are corny," but it's supposed to be funny that it's corny. It's not even that.
I think the characters truly find it funny, and we're supposed to note um, that they are not funny, though. Because the
Right,
game
but
even
we're
says,
supposed.
"Ah, clowns, aren't they just great? Aren't they just so funny?"
But why? But they want us to find it funny that it's not funny. They want us to find the
Correct.
lack of it being funny funny because
Correct.
otherwise, why make us sit through so many?
Yeah.
So on some level, they thought that they were writing something funny.
Yeah.
They weren't.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I just think it's also like a commentary of how
There's
we laugh at absurd things and when they're not funny and
they try to do a lot of this kind of like anti-humor or
Yeah.
there's another scene, there's another toilet joke where if you just press A near
Mhm.
the toilet, you have to sit through a full 2 minutes of the guy shitting. And it's like that
Yeah.
kind of like, "Ugh, is it over yet? Is
Yeah.
it like that's
It's
the
like the
joke they're
Family
trying.
Guy knee thing, but it doesn't go on long enough for it to circle back, so it's just obnoxious and long.
I
Yeah.
I think even if it had gone, I think like I wasn't finding it funny even a little bit. So it didn't even
Yeah.
I don't think there was a time if they had done it for 10 minutes, it still wouldn't have been
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, and I guess that's, difference between the knee thing and, like, somebody pooping is, like, you don't I don't
Yeah.
wanna see somebody pooping for, I guess you could call it maybe some of it kind of cringe humor, and it also kind of goes into that we've mentioned this before, almost like millennial writing, millennial humor. There's just this style that
If
goes into this kind of humor that is very
maybe
millennial to me.
I think if it's that though, they're bad at it. There's another, I guess, joke that me and you talked about that we were both confused about, which is there's a scene where a guy is like, he makes you go get a bunch of ingredients for healing ointment, and he's
Mhm.
like, "Now I'll go do my secret thing to
Yeah, he goes
make
to
make
make
the ointment."
the
And he
ointment,
goes
right.
into his house, and there's a bunch of noises,
Yeah.
and then one by one, the two characters walk over to the window and start looking in, and then representations of all the game developers walk onto screen
Yeah, I didn't
and start,
understand that.
and it's before the joke where they introduce that those people are the game developers.
Yeah, I didn't even know who the characters were.
And they're all just looking in the window as this guy's making his ointment, and it takes so long, and I couldn't understand why that was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
It's funny that they're looking in they're curious about how he makes the ointment? That's what's
Yeah.
funny?
I
I don't
don't know. I really don't know. I was really unsure on that one.
Yeah. It's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's either jokes that don't make any sense, or jokes that make so much sense because you've heard them a million times or you've heard things
Yeah.
like them a million times. Just yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
I won't keep harping on it.
yeah, we
It was
didn't
just
like the writing. We
it
didn't
was
like the humor style.
very, very frustrating,
Yeah.
and the game is nonstop jokes too.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
if
like it's like
yeah,
Lori and Corey Cole with their puns, only this time it's, fart jokes,
fart jokes and this kind of like
anti-humor.
attempts at anti-humor,
Yeah.
and I think they're trying to at some points replicate the style of humor of like the LucasArts games, and
Yeah.
it's again it's almost like following a formula without substance.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
technically that's a joke, I guess.
Yeah.
Technically,
And it's really too bad because the game is not bad. This is
right.
absolutely not a bad game. I would say I had fun playing this game. I did like the story. I mean, despite these kind of more frustrating elements and the backtracking, I liked the story. I
Mhm.
thought the story was fine. I was engaged with it. The atmosphere is really, really fantastic. Every
Yes,
scene
atmosphere is
you're
great.
on, yeah, it's got a vibe, man, and it's got a vibe I like a whole lot. And if the humor was more aligned with what I typically go for, which is more wholesome, I guess, a little more wholesome humor, or whatever Grim Fandango is, then I would like it even more.
I mean, I don't mind profane or, you know, I don't as long as the jokes are good, I'm fine with any kind of joke,
Yeah,
right? The other thing I'll complain about real quick, it's a game with like 100 characters in it,
true. Yeah, it's a
and
lot of characters.
besides the 9 ghosts, which are all women,
Mhm.
there's only 5 other woman characters.
Yeah,
There's the lady that runs the Nazi resistance, who I guess is a fine character.
yeah.
Doesn't do much.
We don't get to know her very well, but that's
Yeah,
because there's so many characters. You can't really
yeah.
get to know them very well because there's so many.
There's an actress that everyone wants to date who has giant boobs.
Yeah,
There
Gerda,
is
right?
yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Gerda
Gerda von Udder, I think is her name.
there's a waitress.
Right.
There's a girl who exists to just be naked on a bed because somebody's gonna have sex with her.
Mhm.
There
Excuse me,
is
her name is Ruth? Some respect, please?
there is a nun who is crazy, and
Yeah,
again, and then like witches. There's only one real character you get to
yeah.
know in any way that is a witch, but it's like it's a game where they only give traditionally female roles to their very few female characters,
Mhm.
which is a little frustrating.
I guess so. I think I didn't clock it. Just even speaking as a woman who cares about that kind of representation, I guess it kind of made sense to me in a way because of the storyline they were going for, because it is such this
Mhm.
this Nazi Germany where all the dudes are problematic and toxic and awful and you're supposed to hate them. I'm kind of glad that yeah, it's just for me, it's just like yeah, all these guys suck. I hate
Right.
them and we're against them.
We
So
met a
I
lot
don't
of
know if I clocked it as much as you did. I'm
yeah.
not sure.
We met a lot of villagers and farmers and stuff though.
That's
All
true.
men.
All men. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Like even all the helpful characters, all the characters you're supposed to like are all men, and all the characters you're supposed to hate are all men, and
Yeah.
and the women have again like these servant style or lusted after roles.
Yeah. Except for
Um,
the resistance woman, which I think is
except for the
yeah.
resistance
I
woman.
don't even care. I guess I don't even really care that Gerda was portrayed that way because I think we're supposed to hate her too. Like she's just kind of this vapid because she's in line with the Nazis. I don't like
Yes.
anyone who's in
Yeah.
line
Yeah.
with the Nazis. So she's that kind of pick me girl, I think, is maybe what they were going for there. But yeah, no, it's not great representation. There are more dead characters than female characters, which is interesting.
The plot basically is that this witch coven from very long ago, their town was attacked by Vikings, so they unleashed some curse on the Vikings. The curse was indiscriminate, and so it just started killing everybody. And
Mhm.
it's this curse that like these worms infest you and you turn into basically like this black zombie.
Yeah.
Um and just kill anything
Or
you see.
whatever. Yeah.
Um so they locked the curse away behind some big stone or whatever. Then the Nazis uncovered that to try and, I guess, take over the world. What it says is that they want to unleash it to destroy all the strong men of the world so
Yeah.
that they can conquer whoever's left.
Yeah.
Um, and there's something, I guess, to be said about like the dynamics of, the Nazis were these there's some sort of parallel here between the Nazis being sort of the, ethnocentric race supremacists
Mhm.
and that the initial curse was used to exterminate a culture that was oppressing
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah.
Um, Again, I don't know if it was just an excuse to see a bunch of dead Nazis
I think it was. Yeah, I think
or
I
yeah.
I don't know, I think we could go deeper, but I don't think it is. I think I really do think it's just a Mel Brooks-ish, "Let's make these Nazis stupid,
Mhm.
let's kill them." Um, yeah, there's another storyline going on, but I really don't think it's deeper than that. It's just like Blues Brothers, like, we gotta stop some Nazis. That's what we're
Right.
doing here. And also witches, I guess. I think it can be perceived as a little convoluted because these two things are like you don't expect to see like a witch coven story plus a Nazi Germany story
Mhm.
together. I think that's a little mismatched.
I don't
But I
know. I
also
think
again, I don't
yeah.
think it's deeper than that. I think it is like we got to overcome the
Well,
Nazis.
but
That's what
that's
it
why I
is.
was wondering. So I didn't I when you say convoluted, like I thought it all held together pretty well. Where I'll say it gets convoluted is there is the reason it's called Nine Witches is because it took nine witches to seal the curse away, and eventually you have to find kind of the nine witches, right? The reason it's called Family Disruption is literally like a 2-minute scene at the very end
Yeah.
that is kind of just like stuck in there
Yeah.
that a character you've known this whole time sort of it turned out he led the Nazis to this curse to
Mhm.
intentionally unleash it on the world for some reason, to profit or something.
Yeah.
And also, he was the adopted son of one of the witches.
Yeah.
I don't know. That felt a little convoluted. It was just like, okay, well, or at least not convoluted so much as why is this here?
Yeah.
Why is this here? And why is it the title of the game?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. What else, do you have anything else to say about this game? I feel like we've gotten it all out.
No, I think we have. We've probably been a little bit harsh because it's one of the main mechanics on an adventure game is dialogue, is our
Mhm,
dialogue trees. So I even though I don't like these dialogue trees, I don't like this humor.
mhm.
It's not a bad game by any means. It's well done. It's really pretty. You might like it, or you might not, based on our critique. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, it's just like the art is good and the puzzles are good. It's just
Yeah.
the I think it is they get in their own way with trying to center all the dialogue around jokes when they're not good joke writers. And
Yeah.
again, what I feel like is artificially lengthening the game by making you just constantly backtrack
Yeah.
and like really long distances. And the combat's not great. So yeah, so it's just it's like a good 3-hour game locked inside a bad 5-hour game.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd agree with you there.
Well, thankfully, Roses,
Yes.
we did play another game this week.
It's convoluted in a different way.
So, do you want to put on Convolutorino?
Yeah.
And we will come right back, and we're going to talk about a game that kind of came out of nowhere and surprised us. It's
Yeah.
called Buy Sweet Carol.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Save Your Game. I am one of your hosts. Man, I can't. My cogs are still going, Matt. Like I think I'm still thinking about mouthwashing or something.
Mouthwashing just really fucked you up.
It really did. I can't even brain right now. I'm pushing up roses. This is my co-host Matt Aukamp, and we have one more game to talk about today.
Yes, and this game it kind of rules.
Yeah.
I'm really digging it. So this is a game that just came out as of recording it. It just came out today. It's called Buy Sweet Carol. It's by Little Sewing Machine. Is the developer, and it's sort of like it is a cross between like a kind of a light horror story and like a Disney princess story.
Mhm.
Right? If a Disney princess found herself faced with like a little bit of a horror scenario, right?
Yeah.
You play a little girl named Lana Benton,
Hmm.
and she is studying at this academy, or she's living at this academy. I think it's some sort of combination orphanage prep school,
Yeah, like a boarding
a
school.
boarding school, right?
Yeah.
And your friend Carol has it's called Bunny Hall.
Hmm.
That's important. Your friend Carol went missing a few days ago. She just kind of disappeared. The school assumes that she eloped. She ran off with some dude.
Yeah.
Because that's basically this takes place during the Industrial Revolution, the turn of the century,
Hmm.
and they keep sort of hammering home this idea that that is what little girls are preparing for. They're preparing to find a person to marry.
Yeah.
And so they assume that's what Carol ran off and did, but you're not so sure. At the same time, you keep experiencing these sort of like daytime hallucinations, maybe?
I want
You
to say
may be traveling to another dimension.
yes. In on the Steam page, since you mentioned it is out now, I wanted to see like kind of what they were
Mhm.
saying. It does say that this path of Bunny Hall leads her to the mysterious kingdom of
Yes.
Corolla.
Well,
I don't
I think
know.
that's
It might be trying to be literal.
Right. I don't think that so much matters. I think what matters is that you don't know in the game
Okay.
whether she's going, because they're trying to make that ambiguous.
Yes.
Um, you pretty much every time you visit Corolla or you are visited by people from Corolla, you the scene ends with you waking up in bed.
The true, yes. So you don't know if you are yeah, you're kind of caught between 2 worlds, right?
Yes.
You've got the real life world in Bunny Hall, which is an orphanage where your friend has gone missing and everyone's now gossiping, and you're also a princess in this fantasy world of Corolla. And yes, could that be a survival tactic where we're trying to find Carol and this is kind of an
Yeah.
all brain mental thing? Sure, it could be. Or it could be very fairy tale esque. Could be pure fantasy. Yeah, it could go either way.
And there's some things you should know about this story, which is 90% of it is trying to find a letter.
Yes.
Like, so much of this game is just chasing letters. Like, you open on, like, your tutorial scene is you see a letter, you see Carol's name on it,
Yeah.
so you think it'll give you some clue as to where she went, and so you
Yeah.
go chase the letter, the wind blows it away, you go get it again, the wind blows it
Wind blows
away,
it away.
then a bunny
Man,
with glasses takes it.
paper in adventure games. It's impossible.
Yeah, yeah. And this will happen a dozen more times in the
Yeah.
game, is you will find either this letter or another letter. It's sometimes hard to tell whether
Yeah.
you're constantly chasing the same letter in different scenarios, or whether you are finding new letters
Yeah.
that are from or to Carol. I think it's the second. I think you're finding multiple letters,
Mhm.
often to Carol, and you're trying to grab them because you think they'll give you clues as to where she's gone.
Yeah.
I mean that criticism in sort of the silliest of ways,
Sure.
because
Yeah.
this
Sure.
game is a lot of is really magical, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say it's a lot of fun. That I think is partially true. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I don't necessarily think the gameplay mechanics are like super fun.
Sure.
Um
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
let's talk about the mechanic
sure. Go ahead.
because it's it is an adventure game, but it's an adventure game in the way that Little Nightmares is an adventure game.
Yes.
It's an adventure game with also survival horror tactics, in the
Mhm.
way that you would find in Clock Tower, right? So there's no we have an inventory. We do have an inventory. We do use items, but the majority of these puzzles are just kind of these like in the moment logic puzzles. How do we connect this battery to this battery? How do we get water going through this pipe? How do we
Mhm.
get electricity? Like I kept joking, as we were playing it, that it's like, are we just trying to fix the electric at the
We just
orphanage?
yeah,
Is
just
that
sort
what
of
we're doing?
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of puzzles about turning on electricity and making electricity go to the right place.
Yeah.
Um, but there's some, like, light platforming involved.
Yeah.
You is this a spoil? I don't think this is a spoil.
Just
You
go
because
for it.
it happens so early on. You get the power to turn into a bunny.
Yeah.
Um, and the bunny can bounce off walls and jump really high and fit in small spaces, and you can manipulate objects.
Yeah.
So you can do the inventory puzzles, the bunny can jump around and get you to other places.
Yes.
Um, because you are the bunny, so you wherever the bunny ends up is where you are.
Yeah.
I've made it sound like you were two different characters.
No, no, you were the bunny. You turn into a bunny as yourself. It's
Yes.
very cute.
And
Yeah.
you can turn back and forth at will as long as there's enough space too.
Yes.
You also do eventually meet some two characters from Corolla. First is Mr. Keen,
Mhm.
Kyn, also known as the man with the tar hat.
Yeah.
He is his motivations aren't entirely clear to me, but he is chasing you, and he is trying to use you as the princess to help him gain control over Corolla, and something about stopping time,
Mhm.
and something about you being like the bridge between these two worlds.
Yeah.
Not entirely certain I've fully And it might just be I haven't beaten the game. We both played some of this. We actually screen shared because we
Mhm.
only had one code for
Yeah.
it at the and it wasn't out yet.
It's a fun game to play with someone else, I'll give it that. It's kind of one of those. It's not, multiplayer or it's not co-op, but it is kind of fun because I mean, I'm gonna credit that to that it's tense, a little
Mhm.
exciting, and it's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It appears to be, 10 chapters just based on the achievements. And,
Yeah.
we had just gotten to chapter 6 when we wrapped up.
Yeah.
And so there could still be plenty of story coming that's gonna reveal it, but at the moment, I'm not entirely sure what Mr. Keen is fucking talking about.
It's written the way it's drawn, and I mean that to say that it's very artistic and writerly.
Mhm.
It's a little poetic, so I think some of the storytelling is a little veering into the abstract. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
not
right.
not like definitively abstract, but kind of veering into this kind of dark fantasy fairy tale where you just have a narrator being like, and then the little girl found the letter of the dark seal. Like it's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, yeah.
stuff that I'm not really sure what they're talking about, but I but the narrator is narrating it with like such conviction that I think they're supposed to.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
it's very artistic and it kind of matches the beautiful art style.
yeah, and it's all familiar fairy tale kinda stuff, right? It's
Yes.
very classical story tropes, and not all tropes are, tropes. Trope doesn't necessarily mean negative,
Nope,
right?
just a term, just
Um,
a word.
so sort of a lot of fairy tale tropes going on here,
Yeah.
and okay, I said you meet two people from Corolla. So one is Mr. Keen. He's chasing you. Not entirely sure what his goals are, but he's bad. And then there's the Silver Gentleman, otherwise known as Mr. Basie.
Otherwise known as String Cheese
String
Man,
cheese. We
as
called him
we
String Cheese Man.
affectionately call him.
He looks like a bunch of string cheese in a big tall coat. The thing about Mr. Keen and Mr. Basie is they look kind of like each other. They kind of
Sort
look
of,
like
yeah.
the good and evil versions of each other.
Sure. Yeah.
And they both have this like tall, crooked posture
Mhm.
with
They're floppy. They're
yeah,
very
they're
floppy.
both floppy
Yeah.
and they both very magical, right? Like they like
Yeah.
the way Mr. Keen chases you is very magical, and he's also constantly like taking the forms of people and
Yeah.
trying to trick you into getting close to him.
Yeah. There's some
Um,
jump scares. That's kind of the spooky horror element of it. Again,
and
kind of survival horror, you know?
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and Mr. Basie can pop his head off.
It's
He talks
cute, I promise.
He talks with his hands, not with
Mhm.
his mouth, by the way. So when he's just a head, he can't talk.
Mhm.
Um, so he pops his head off, and he can like walk around with his head. His head can also like take punishment. So I'm saying all this to say, you not only do you change back and forth between Lana's human form and bunny form, you also can switch characters in certain scenes
Right.
between you and Mr. Basie. And Mr. Basie can pop his head off. His head can fit through small spaces. It can also get crushed and be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So if there's, say, like one of those crushing obstacles you see in platform games that is moving too fast for you to get through,
Mhm.
you might need to send Mr. Basie's head through, let him get crushed, and when he's
Mhm.
on the other side, he might be able to turn it off with a switch. A lot of
Right.
switches in this game.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, there are. Oh
he
my
can also
gosh.
he can also
Fun.
like his head will also absorb certain elements without pain. So like he can just like catch on fire
Yeah.
and then you can use him to light other stuff on fire, or he can, get himself electrocuted and then
Mhm.
he's electrified and you can use that electricity elsewhere. Um,
It's a little silly,
it's
but
silly.
also fun.
It rules. He's an awesome little character. We also really don't know his motivations.
No.
He
Not quite
says
yet.
in a very recent chapter, he said he was trying to your goals align because he was trying to save Corolla, but we don't exactly know how Corolla's under threat. It's all a little
Yeah, that's a little vague as of right now. Um, and we're not again, it's that stuck between two worlds thing. So we don't even know if the threats are real or what the
yes.
threat looks like in reality versus what the threat looks like in fantasy world.
Um,
It's very
we
Alice in Wonderland that way.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
this whole thing, so it looks the style again, besides being dark,
Mhm.
being a lot darker than this, the style and scarier. The style is very much like classic Disney.
God, it's gorgeous.
It's
It's
so
really
good,
beautiful.
and we'll talk about that more in a second. But the the way I'm experiencing the story is
Mhm.
also very much like I experienced classic Disney stories as a kid.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
didn't fully understand the details, but I understood the stakes of every scene,
Yeah.
right? I knew in any scene in a Disney movie when I was a little kid, I knew who's the bad guy, who's the good guy,
Yeah.
what they were trying to achieve right now.
Yes.
There was a girl, she was trying to get a boy's attention. It was a dude, and he was trying to run away from the bad guys. There was a villain, and he's trying to con somebody, and the good guy's trying to stop him, right? Like
Yes.
I understood all that, and I in this game I understand all those things. I always know what the goal of a scene is,
Yeah.
but I don't understand what the overarching story is.
No. And
So it
and maybe that will come to light uh
right.
yeah, as we play it.
That being said, right, like the Disney stories made sense. I was just too
Yes.
young to understand them.
Yeah.
This story, I am older now and understand stories, and I don't understand it. So I
Yeah.
think why I'm able to tolerate that is again because it's giving me sort of this nostalgia for when I was a kid and how I would
Mhm.
experience these. But I don't know if that it resonates with you at all, Roses.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And it's very yes, Disney-esque. Disney-esque in the way of like Alice in Wonderland was adapted by Disney.
Hmm.
Um Disney and also Alice in Wonderland in themes as well. There's an emphasis on time. There's an emphasis on bunnies. One of them is
Bunnies.
yeah,
There's a
so
lot of
many bunnies.
falling down
Yep,
holes.
falling down these kind of portally looking holes that are going to another world.
Bridge between
It's
two worlds, yeah.
yeah, it's also very Grimm's fairy tales. And you know what else it kind of
Yeah,
gives?
because it's dark, yeah,
Yeah,
it's dark and scary, and the threats are really
yeah,
real.
yeah. It's also kind of giving kind of Labyrinth or the Dark Crystal. Those are dark
Right.
fantasy, so it's kind of like that. It also highly reminds me of Clock Tower, the game Clock Tower, the one that came out on the Super Famicom.
Okay.
Because it does have those survival elements. It has this girl, this beautifully animated girl
Mhm.
who is like as we kind of described her, kind of fragile, a little damselly. She's definitely in distress.
Yeah, when she runs, she
Yeah,
puts her hands right like
yeah,
limp-wristed in front of her chest and swaying back and forth, right?
yeah,
Like that just classic damsel in distress run.
yeah. You know, and maybe a little bit of Don Bluth in there too. But what
Yeah, I
else?
think so.
Yeah, but what I'll say is like, man, this is the most beautifully seamless animation I've seen in gameplay. It is
Oh my god.
seamless. That's why I could just watch you play it because you know we just played another animated game. We played Toonstruck, and that's not seamless.
No,
That's
no,
not
no, no,
seamlessly
no. The
animated.
cutscenes and
Yeah,
the game are two like separate entities.
yeah.
Where this they flow back and forth, and I had been concerned when I first heard about this game, because sometimes you will see games that are this beautiful, and it'll be like beautiful cutscenes and this really well designed character art and
Hmm.
really beautiful backgrounds, and then it's mostly just a person running back and forth in front of those static backgrounds
Yes.
without much animation. This There is a lot of character animation.
Hmm.
The backgrounds sometimes are static, but a lot of times are alive in some way.
Yeah.
It, and ton of lighting effects,
Yeah. Ton of
which is
very nice
crucial.
lighting.
And also a lot of, like, foreground, background work that
Yeah.
makes the game feel like makes it feel like, again, like you said, seamless.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, think of
you've
like Sleeping Beauty, where you had animated characters and then this beautiful painted background, and they're both integrated into each other. But like it just the seamlessness I think comes from you the running animation looks like a cutscene. Like
well,
that's how
yeah.
beautiful that's how wonderfully done it's animated. And the bunny, the bunny
Mhm.
hopping and doing flips and stuff.
I
It's
agree with
really
that.
beautiful.
I agree with that, but I also think, like, I think you can't discount what the foreground and background is doing, because
Yes.
that makes it feel like there's often animations happening right up by the screen in the foreground.
That's true. Yeah.
Like like somebody's maybe stalking around in the bushes
Yeah.
in front of, like, in between the camera and Lana, or like an animal scurrying around or spying on her
Yeah. Yes.
from
Yes.
behind her, like out a window or up in a tree, and that the backgrounds are constantly sort of moving and shifting and telling the story as you go, as much as your character and the things that you are controlling are telling the story,
Mhm.
really, really helps make it feel like you are within this cartoon world.
Yes. Yes. Gosh, it real I'm just rewatching, some of the trailer now, and it because of that background foreground, it does look very cinematic, just like
Mhm.
a Don Bluth movie would do, or a Disney movie would do. You have the painterly stuff and the background foreground and the animation. Like it's
Yeah. Well,
gosh, it's so good. It's so beautiful. I can't get over it. Honestly, I can't get
there
over it.
there's a couple other things we have to mention here. Number 1, like, we should describe what the actual gameplay is like. Not only so you're shifting between these things, oftentimes it is like two-dimensional planes.
Yes.
So even though I said this pejoratively, I don't like I was trying to say, this transcends this, but you are basically running back and forth on a 2D plane to
Yes.
solve puzzles or to solve, like, very light platforming challenges.
Mhm.
Often the platforming challenges aren't about, like, your reflexes. Sometimes they are, but rarely.
Rarely,
Um
yeah. Maybe
they're
more so when you're the bunny, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more like atmospheric puzzle challenges, right? Or
Sure.
like spatial puzzles
Mhm.
that you're solving with your platforming, um,
Right.
like Little Nightmares.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, it's very similar to Little Nightmares, except this is Disney.
the uh,
Very different aesthetic.
the other thing you're doing a lot is running from monsters, villains, bad
Yes.
guys, and
Yes.
hiding, and that is
Yes.
what Roses means when she brings up, I think, Clock Tower and
Yes.
survival horror,
Survival horror. Like, yeah, in
because
Clock Tower, there are it struck me immediately, like, you find places to hide. That
yes.
is what you do, and that's what you're doing here too. You find little alcoves to hide in, or you platform a bit, you crawl over a bookshelf or something like that.
And then there's a holding your breath mechanic,
Yeah.
like in survival horror. Um,
Gots to be quiet.
you gotta be quiet. Yeah,
Yeah.
when, the monster's looking for you and you're hidden in the little wardrobe,
Yeah.
you gotta hold your breath so they can't hear you.
They
Um,
also can hide. They can hide too. So just like in Clock Tower, which, the main villain of that is the Scissor Man. Sometimes you'll go into a room and you'll feel tense because you just know
he's somewhere in
he's
there.
somewhere,
Yeah.
and then he like pops out of a box. Same thing. That kind of same survival horror
Yeah.
mechanic that kind of started out in Alone in the Dark, which is the survival horror game. Yeah, very similar to that, just with a different aesthetic.
The jump scares aren't terrible, but they
No,
are
they're not.
there. There
Yeah.
are jump scares, they're just not that bad. Um
Yes, I agree.
And it's same with a lot of the horror here. It's spooky. It'll give you that nice Halloweeny feeling.
Yeah.
Um, but it's not terrifying. It's not super
Yeah.
scary.
No, I definitely think it in terms of it's definitely horror, but it's comparable again to dark fantasies like Labyrinth or
Right.
The Dark Crystal. Maybe it can even veer into gothic horror a little bit. Um, but yeah, spooky doesn't necessarily mean scary.
Mhm.
Uh, but it does have that. I would play it for Halloween. This is a spooky
Yeah.
game to me.
I think it's a spooky horror game, but yeah, but it hasn't like scared me besides a couple
Right.
jump scares where I got a little like ah. Um and there's some creatures in this game that like I didn't find scary but would be horrifying to me maybe if I
Oh
were a
yeah.
child or if I were more sensitive to those sorts of things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like some inhuman creatures.
Yes.
The other thing we should talk about is there are some while we're not while we were having a lot of trouble sort of decoding the fantasy story in
Yeah.
this game. There seems to be a bit more of a straightforward story happening in the real world. I imagine the two parallel each other and
Yes.
complement each other thematically, but we haven't seen them fully tie in together yet.
Right.
But part of the real world story appears to be about the role of women at the turn of
Yes.
the century.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of mention of different characters' attitudes towards women's liberation or
Yeah.
women's emancipation. It was very rightfully called at the time,
Yeah.
and people with differing views or people such as Lana who are faced with a challenge to their views.
Yeah.
So that seems to be a theme.
Yeah.
And again,
If I may, I've got another theme ready to go.
sure, yeah, and I just want to say also, like, again, there's like this idea of everybody is trying to get married. They're
Yes.
trying to make Lana into the perfect woman so that she can grow up and
Yeah.
marry a nice gentleman. And her friend Carol appears to, in flashbacks, not want that for her.
Correct.
So
Even like you're a little girl, you're at an orphanage, and they even, the head mistress calls you. You're a woman now.
yeah, we were making jokes about it when we were playing together because it was
Yeah.
just like she's so clearly and so obviously a little girl, and
Yes.
yet they're calling her a woman and talking about her getting married,
Yeah.
right? Like so,
Yep.
we were, so we were making jokes about that because it's so anathema to the way we view little girls now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what was your other theme?
This is a more heavy-handed one. I
Mhm.
mean, that's very heavy-handed. I would say that theme that about, women's roles, gender roles, that's very explicit. This theme is a little bit more heavy-handed, and that's
Right,
environmentalism.
right, agreed.
It's imagine kind of your David the Gnome scenario
Mhm.
where animals, homes are being taken over by, industrial machines and apartment complexes. It's definitely got that going for themselves. Like you have monsters and animals made out of tar.
Mhm.
They're even on the description on the page, they're called tar bunnies, and tar monsters.
Yeah.
So it is definitely touching on that. If it's not on purpose, then I don't know what we're
Oh,
doing here.
it definitely is. It definitely is because again, the Mr. Keen who wants to take over and destroy the land of Corolla, which you are introduced to in a beautiful garden at the beginning
Mhm.
of the game. He tells you he wants to destroy Corolla, but he's called the man with the tar hat.
Yes.
So, and he's clearly like a Fern Gully style,
Yes.
like he's a monster made of smog and gook.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking that too.
I think, it's definitely an intentional theme,
Yeah.
and I think that will play very heavily into the way that the fantastical theme and the real world theme tie together. I
Yeah.
also think the feminism theme is going to come through in the fact that they keep calling Lana Benton a princess,
Yes. Yeah.
and we get some hints, not, and I could be wrong about this, but we get some hints that maybe where Carol ran away to was the kingdom of Corolla.
Yes, that's the yeah, I would agree that that's kind of the implication. And
Uh,
now that you're saying all that together, I
mhm.
think it's really interesting and pertinent that in the game we're both a little girl at the during women's lib and also a bunny, and we can turn between each other, two kind of characters, two kind of living beings that are prey almost in this particular time,
Wow, yeah.
prey to humanity. It's just I just think that's really interesting, but also, as we know about like bunnies and women, both extremely strong and resilient and
Right.
fierce. And I just thought that was interesting. I thought that's interesting that we play as both.
That that is interesting. I hadn't put that together.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah, something that's, yeah, strong and fierce, but also but seen as gentle and non-threatening.
Yeah.
Um, that's interesting.
Thank you.
I think that's got to be on purpose, and I think this game is aiming for some big themes,
Definitely.
and I am really excited to see how those come together.
Me too.
And even though the puzzles haven't been amazing, the platforming's not incredible. Like the actual playing, like the um, gameplay, just on a gameplay level,
Mhm.
isn't amazing. It's
Sure.
fine.
It could even be a little repetitive and tedious in
Yeah.
parts, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true, and so it's not amazing gameplay, but I'm really enjoying kind of every moment because it's so beautiful,
Yeah.
and again, the story's kinda compelling.
I think so too. I think the themes are compelling. I think the fairy tale esque dark fantasy aesthetic is compelling. I just liked watching it. I
Yeah,
even just liked watching it. I
yeah.
didn't need to play it. And Matt had to tolerate every reaction to a cute animal that I had for like 4 hours. So good
Hey,
job, Matt. Everyone tell
hey,
Matt
this
good
is
job.
we're what are friends for if not tolerating each other's fucking obnoxiousness? No, it wasn't that
No.
obnoxious. I'm kidding. Um, but
No.
no, I'm really impressed. This
Yeah.
game, again, it's called By Sweet Carol. There is a loose crank
Of course there is. There's always a loose crank.
real early on, chapter 2.
Yep.
Was there a loose crank in
I think it was there was one in like 5 or like 5, 4 or 5 too.
was
There's
there a
just
loose
so
crank?
many cranks, you
Was there
guys.
a loose crank in Nine Witches?
I don't recall offhand, but I would say there probably is somewhere.
Yeah.
But this is interesting though.
Mhm.
Very strange. This is the only time ever where I've played 2 games back to back where there's a character named Marcel. What? So there's
Oh,
that.
speaking of Marcel, I also
Yeah, how is Marcel doing?
look, I'm going to take a big swing here.
Okay.
And at the risk of embarrassing myself, I
Oh
could be
boy.
wrong. I so Marcel appears to be the person, it appears to have something to do with Carol's running away.
Yes.
It is assumed throughout the game by every character, both when reading the letters and when seeing this. This happens in, I think, chapter 2, so this is
Mhm.
really early on. So I don't
Yeah,
think I'm
it's
spoiling
early.
anything.
Yeah.
Seeing this character that you think might be Marcel running around and destroying these letters
Yeah.
is referred to as a boy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's a good chance that Marcel is a woman or is a
Yeah.
girl,
Yeah.
and I have a hunch that there is a sort of sapphic love story happening behind the scenes here.
Yes, and I could see that happening just based on the game is emphasizing what it's like to be a woman at that time.
Hmm.
You are basically prepping yourself to be property, to be the perfect woman for a guy, for a husband
Yeah,
specifically. You're training for that. And if
yeah,
Carol ran away, maybe she ran away because she had different romantic preferences.
Yeah, I have a strong suspicion that that is an aspect of the story. Could be
Yes.
again, I could be totally wrong. This
Yeah,
is
we could be wrong.
folks, this is your chance to completely humiliate me and be like,
Oh.
"No, Matt, you were so fucking wrong. What
That
an
is
idiot.
dumb.
He's so dumb. Guys,
Dumb.
come look at this dumb
This
podcast
this
guy."
dummy.
No, I please don't do that to me. I'm so fragile. I'm like a bunny.
He's very fragile, you guys. Don't do it.
I'm like a little bunny princess.
He's gonna call me at 2 a.m. crying, so please don't.
So, anyway, that's all I want to say now about
Yes.
I imagine we will talk about this in some intros coming up.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think now that the game's out, we're probably going to be playing it separately.
Yeah, probably.
Because I don't want to I don't want to wait, and I'm sure you don't either. And we keep very different schedules. This
Yeah.
podcast is the one time our schedules overlap. Yeah, again, I think this game will come back up. I also think this game, hey, might come back up in some discussions we have in January.
Yeah, I think
Just
so, yeah.
spoiler alert. Yeah, anything else? Any wrap up thoughts about goodbye or about Bye Sweet Carol?
No, I'm just very impressed. I
Yeah,
want
me too.
people to play it, and man, even if you don't like the gameplay, the artistry is over the top to me, and I just admire that. I
Yeah.
recognize the hard work that went into it, so well done.
Yeah, I'm also really impressed with this game.
Man, I'm an artist. I can't do shit. I just keep sculpting bears all day. What's wrong with me?
Do a stop motion animation adventure game about the bears you sculpt.
Oh, good. Yeah, that'll take 20 years. Just me. It'll just be 20 years later, I'll come back and be like, the game is done, everyone.
And they'll be like, we don't have computers anymore.
Oh, no. I didn't make a port for this new thingy. Yeah, that would be terrible. But if somebody else wants to make that idea about my beautiful little bears, you go ahead.
Well, then they need you to make the bears.
Free idea. Ugh. Yeah, okay. I mean, that is all I'm making, so maybe I can't. Maybe I can't
Right, so
make
maybe
that.
you guys can collab.
Yeah.
Hey, some enterprising young game designer I don't know why I said young. Have to be young. Have to be young,
You
or
have to be young.
have to be young. Otherwise, she's not gonna pick up your calls.
True. Not going to pick up. You know, it's really interesting. I started sculpting in my clay class. I started sculpting a hare, actually, like a little bunny. Before we even talked about this game, that's what I chose to
Huh.
do. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, I foresaw it. You know.
The game is has been invading your mind and your dreams.
I mean, right now all I can think about is mouthwashing. So
I can't wait to play it.
yeah,
I have to prepare for my next Mutant Menace episode tonight
yeah,
and tomorrow. But I'm like champing at the bit to fucking
I bet.
get my hands on mouthwashing.
Probably
I'm, al-
because you like woke up to text being like, ah, that's all
I'm
I can think
also
about.
I'm also excited about the other game. We're jamming these two games together into an episode, so it
We
might
are.
also be another long episode. I'm excited to talk about Clock Tower, or
Yeah.
to play
It's
Clock
your
Tower, and
first
then
time playing it, right?
yes, and then hear
Yeah.
not only experience it, but
Yeah.
then hear your feelings about it. So
Yeah. One of the scariest games I've ever played. Hands down.
fucking love Spooky Month.
Spooky month.
I love
Let's
Spooky
rebrand.
Month.
Let's just be a spooky podcast from now on.
Because I also like playing on spooky games.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's always at least 50% spooky since I'm here.
That's true.
It's always a
That's true.
little bit spooky.
Yeah, always a little bit spooky,
Yeah.
which is our motto here at Save Your Game. True eggheads know, always a little bit spooky.
Little bit spooky.
C8 your partners. What are some other in jokes?
Bow down to Hanson Swanson.
Hanson Swanson. I jump really well. I'm a special boy.
Very fast, very good jumper. I'm an
Yeah,
artist. I am from Chicago.
you're an
I
artist.
mean,
You're an artist, and
that's
you're from Chicago.
that's not I haven't said that one before, though. That's probably new to a
We're
lot of
not allowed to
people.
talk about the cheese in the machine puzzle.
That's not my decision.
C8 eggheads. That's such a funny. If you said that to somebody, that's such nonsense.
Makes
But
no
if you
sense at all.
said that to any of the, you know, 2,000 people that listen to the show, they would immediately be like, "I know exactly what you meant.
Yes.
You've just said gibberish." C8 eggheads.
I mean,
Oh boy.
well, before we sign off, I just want to say I already mentioned the Discord. Definitely join it though if you haven't. I think we mention it. We'll mention it in the show notes. It's on our Instagram as well, which you can also go follow. I'll have some new artwork up there for you guys, and there is going to be a picture of me and Homered eventually. Please don't call him
It'll
Homered.
be
His
it'll be
name is
up by the
Homer.
time this episode comes out.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so go check out Homered.
Homered. If you have any questions, suggestions, you can email at us. Man, I'm telling you,
Email at
mouthwashing.
us. Ah, that's a good turn of phrase. Email at us.
Email at us at mattandroses@gmail.com. Instagram, Save Your Game Podcast.
And
Yeah.
I about the Discord, I didn't realize that Discord invites expire, so I will be updating the
Oh,
links.
can you make it not expire? Or did they
I
just always
don't
expire?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but if you come across an expired link, just let me know through, let us know through email or
Yeah.
or
We'll
let
hook
me
you
know in
up.
Blue Sky or something,
Yeah.
and um we'll fix them.
Yeah. We got you. We got
So
you.
I apologize for that.
Yeah, it's your fault. You
Well, I
should be
didn't
sorry.
know. I didn't know.
Oh boy.
I didn't
At least he's
know.
a good jumper, you guys. I don't
Don't sacrifice me to the man with the tar hat.
know.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and come back next week for some really, really spooky discussions.
Yes, please.
And what do we have left to tell the people,
Well,
Roses?
I think this is only appropriate
Mhm.
because I'm an artist, as I just told you, as you just found out 5 minutes
Really?
ago.
I didn't know that. Hold
I
on, I have to
know.
update my Rolodex.
I know. You have to put like occupation artist.
Mhm.
And since I am an artist, I
I had
can
vagrant written here.
That's also true.
Okay.
But yeah, that being said, I think it's only appropriate that I say, podcasts is art,
Yeah, but artists suffer.
but not today
No,
because this art was very pleasant
it
today.
was very pleasant. Well, half
Very
of it was
pleasant.
suffer.